Okay, so morning, Adrian. It's
Right,
good to see you.
thank you.
And I don't think your sister mentioned that you haven't experienced this before.
No, that's right. No,
Right,
never. No.
okay. So I'll just tell you it looks very weird, and we may be saying a few things, and you think, oh, why is she saying that? If it's not too, if it doesn't go against the grain of what you're feeling, then just go with it. But if it's something and you think, no, 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 I don't feel that or I don't believe that, then please correct me. Just interject and correct me and say what you think is more appropriate.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
you'll begin to understand as we go along. Okay.
Okay.
Also, if you start feeling any sensations, then also say, "Oh, actually, this is happening. I'm getting this, or I'm getting that." It could
Yeah.
be, "Oh, I'm getting a heaviness in my chest, or my head's beginning to hurt. Let me know." Okay.
Okay.
What else? And for those watching, you can follow along and tap along, even and repeat the same words that we're going to do with Adrian. Okay, so let's start. Um, Tell me a little bit about your insomnia because that's what you've come about. Okay, just
Sure.
tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about it.
Okay. When I was 16 years of age,
Yeah.
I was attacked by a gang of kids, youths, and I was stabbed about 7 times. Had a collapsed lung,
Okay.
and yeah, it was a gang attack basically on one person. To do with schools, I was from a different school, and I was wearing the uniform.
Oh God.
Funny thing is that after the attack, I dealt with it. I did lots of different martial arts, and I thought, and I felt better about myself.
Okay.
And so that was 16 years of age. Until the age of 38, I lived a fairly normal life, nothing particularly unusual.
Hmm.
And I felt that it was in the past, and I dealt with it. Then, when I was 38, my father died fairly suddenly.
Okay.
And somehow I never recovered after his death. It wasn't really that I was grieving so long about his death, but somehow I stopped sleeping properly, and all these other problems with insomnia developed.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until a lot later that maybe PTSD was mentioned. And actually, because PTSD is a fairly recent
Yes.
science, as it were, that they said, "Do you have flashbacks to the event?" I would say, "No, I don't really, because I don't really have flashbacks to the actual stabbing, although I have bad dreams, maybe." So only much more recent, I think, it really must be PTSD because I'm very, very jumpy. If I drop a key, it's like a bullet goes off, and various things,
Okay.
very easily disturbed with my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you said you're very jumpy, say you drop a key, um, when did that start happening? Being so jumpy like that?
I mean, I suppose I've always been a sort of slightly nervy person anyway. I
Okay.
always have been a little bit sort of hypersensitive kind of thing.
Okay.
But I suspect, well, it's a good question. I don't know exactly when it happened, but I would say certainly since I was 38, particularly a door banging, a dog barking, any sudden noise, and I'm jumpy, and
And
panic for a split second.
what else happened? Sorry, you're jumpy.
Well, I sort of panic for a split second. I feel my heart beats faster.
Okay.
And of course, I tell myself, oh, it's only. So mentally, I can calm my mind and say, it's just, don't be silly. It's just a car door. But somehow the actual metabolism seems to change.
Yes.
And what's unusual with me is when I'm asleep, and maybe what would wake a normal person up, but then I think, oh, they go back to sleep. I find my adrenaline keeps going for 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
Racing for 2 or 3 or 4 hours even.
Okay. And what kind of things would wake you up when you're asleep?
Well, as I say, a car door banging, someone shouting, especially low frequency noise, a dog barking.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of noise.
All right. And so you'll wake up and your heart will be beating at that time
That's right.
faster. And what else will happen? Tell me a bit more.
Well, what often happens from there is that having woken up,
yeah,
then the problems in my life come to the fore. Because often before bedtime I can put them out of my mind and sleep like a normal person. Not always, but often.
Yeah.
But once I'm awakened in that way,
yeah,
then slowly but surely this problem, that problem, and they go round and round, and
okay.
But I have trained. I did do some meditation training,
Okay.
and got to a point whereby I could actually calm the mind completely, and yet I was aware the metabolism, that the heart was still beating, I don't mean racing, but a little bit faster than you would expect for sleep, maybe at the rate it's beating now, but that's not slow enough for sleep, I was just a little bit hyper aware, and could even calm the mind, but couldn't stop them. I call it the metabolism is not on my side, and it's like on another, what's the word, hymn sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay. I'm just taking a few notes as we're speaking. Okay. And you said, so you did meditation. What other things have you tried?
Well, the meditation was called Vipassana, and it was a course whereby you go for 10 days. You don't speak to anyone, you don't look at anybody, and you just,
okay.
quite a strict one.
Yes.
And it was quite powerful. I had a couple of powerful moments during that course that seemed to help.
Yes. Okay.
But
and what else?
Also,
yes.
I can go into more detail about the Vipassana, or I could tell you about other things I've tried. I don't know what.
Tell me the other things that you've tried.
Okay. I've tried Freudian psychology for 2 or 3 years, which didn't help me at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Tried the NLP. Was it NLP that I said? Was it NLP?
No, CBT. CBT.
Yeah. Sorry, CBT. Okay. That's right. Which was nice, but it didn't really solve insomnia long term.
Okay.
In fact, actually, often I feel that something I do helps me for a few days, but then somehow long term it just doesn't quite do it.
Okay.
I've had sleeping pills, antidepressants, of course, from the doctor.
Okay.
What else? About it, really, I think. I've been to a sleep clinic where they confirmed I'm an insomniac,
Oh, right.
They gave me 10 rules of sleep hygiene, which I think 8 out of 10 of those I was doing anyway, and the other 2 didn't tip the balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry, my maths isn't very good. So from the age of 38 to now, is
54.
That right? So
yep.
How many years is that?
15 odd years.
Oh, okay, all right. So you've been suffering from this problem for 15 years?
Absolutely, yes.
My goodness. Yes. Okay. And how has that impacted you in your life?
Well, I'm often irritable, muzzy-headed, a bit like jet lag kind of feeling.
Yes.
Some nights I was getting no sleep at all, some 2 hours, 1 hour.
Uh-huh.
Now I would say I average, with 5 hours sleep, which is what I had last night, funny enough, I'm just about, functional and happy enough.
Okay.
But 4 hours, 3 hours, I'm not. And if I get 6, it's wonderful,
And have you noticed what happens when you get your 5 hours sleep? What have you done? What happened the previous night? Or
normally I haven't eaten a big meal. I haven't eaten too late. I haven't had a stimulating discussion. I haven't got anything important the next day that I need to worry about. Even a pleasurable thing like a trip away where I have to drive maybe early in the morning, that would be enough to set off my insomnia. What else?
Okay.
That kind of just a normal day with nothing worrying ahead. I tend to sleep a little bit better. As long as I follow, no caffeine, of course, no alcohol, because that's a stimulant as well. Anything remotely stimulating, but not just from the food point of view, mentally, physically, no. I have to avoid all those things.
Okay.
So, of course, it really means that I don't go out with friends, I don't socialise, all those things are affected. If someone invites you out to a meal or even just a chat late at night, no, I can't do that.
Okay, all right. Okay. And do you work?
I do work, yes. Okay. I work for myself.
All right.
I've had to develop this sort of work because I can do it on my terms.
Okay. What do you do?
I sell hi-fi. Specialist hi-fi.
What kind of hi-fi?
Specialist hi-fi, like kind of valve amplifiers, electrostatic speakers, more unusual than the normal mainstream hi-fi.
Okay.
And then after 3:30, this is when I was in England, I was teaching children after school, English, maths, science, private tuition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you're in Italy, are you?
That's right.
Okay,
yes.
So now what do you do? So you're still selling the hi-fi, or?
Not so much, no. It's very difficult to do that from here. We live off the rent from my house in London.
Okay.
And, looking after my mother who lives here.
Okay. All right. So you're quite easy with your routine, meaning you don't have to go out to do a job You know.
Yes, that's right. So,
Okay, so you're
I would say things
flexible.
have slightly improved here, but not
Right.
by no means normal. By no
Okay.
means.
All right. Okay. Right. Let me see what I've got. And you said your father died suddenly, and
Hmm.
you said I'm not sure if I've never recovered properly after his death. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, I mean, he went into hospital with some stomach complaint and ended up dying a few days later. I mean, I think his stomach lining was porous, so therefore it was poisoning his organs. So
Okay.
organ, backed up. But no, as I say, I don't think that's what's caused all the insomnia. It may have been sparked to something, but really, I dealt with his death, within a
Yeah.
certain period of time.
Okay.
I can't really believe that's given me this 15 years of insomnia somehow. I think it must be related to the stabbing.
Okay. So tell me about that. How do you think it's related to the stabbing?
Well, only because having read a little bit about PTSD, there's this kind of delayed response where, the body kind of, on a cellular level, may be holding in the shock from all of it, and somehow
Yeah.
another big shock when he died kind of set it all off again. That's what I've read or understood, but that's my understanding.
Yes. Okay. All right. And you were 16,
Hmm.
and you said so after you'd been stabbed. Presumably, you were in hospital for a bit, or were you in
That's
hospital?
right.
Okay,
Yes,
and then you.
collapsed lung. Yeah.
Okay, and did they find the boys? Did you have any interaction with the boys who stabbed you later on?
No, no. Well, they found the boy who did it, and he went to court, and I think went to.
There was one particular boy, was it, out of a gang?
Well, one with a knife. The
Oh,
one with the
okay.
knife was a particular boy, a
Right.
Sikh boy with a Sikh knife, and I remember being quite cross because at the time they said that when a Sikh takes his knife out, he cannot put it back in its sheath without blood on the handle. Some sort
Yes.
of nonsense at the time, the way
Oh,
they used to see things in the old days.
yes,
And
yes,
then this,
yes.
which was annoying. No, I never met him or saw him after
Okay.
that. No.
Um, okay. And what did you feel afterwards?
I'd always been very much a dreamer, a bit of a head in the clouds kind of kid. So
Yes.
in one weird way, I sort of felt it made me grow up a bit, be more focused, be more, aware of what was around me. And I tried to tell myself there was good had come out of it.
Okay.
And as I say, I went to university and I studied 3 or 4 different martial arts and felt, invincible is ridiculous, but I felt I could handle myself and I wouldn't let that happen to me again.
Yes.
And that's how I coped with it. That's how I coped with it.
Okay.
But then, as I say, a lot later on, it
Okay.
seemed to all catch up with me at 38.
Okay. Okay. Right. I'm not sure where this is going to go, so we're just going to sort of ramble through this in the beginning. Okay. So tell me, when you go to sleep, when you go to bed,
Mm-hmm.
what happens? You lie down to go to bed, and then what happens?
On a normal night,
Yes.
I seem to get to sleep quite quickly, quite effectively. I relax my mind, and I make sure that before I say I'm going to bed, I'm relaxed to some extent, and I go to bed, I'm tired, and I fall asleep. Normally, let's say 4 nights a week, it's like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm fairly calm. I think I get to sleep quite quickly compared to anyone. Yeah. Although this has taken a long time to get to the stage, mind you, but that's where I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in a week, how many times would you not have normal nights? Is it 3 nights? You said 4 nights. You would.
Well, I mean, on those good nights, I get 5 hours sleep plus, which is still not 8 hours, as some people say one should have, but
Okay.
5 hours sleep. So, I would say in a way I never get to 8 hours sleep. I never get 7 hours sleep. 6 is exceptionally good.
Okay.
And 5 is my normal. Maybe 4 nights a week I get 5 hours, and then other nights I get less.
Okay. So what I want to do is to be able to test this later on. So in a week,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Am I right in understanding you have about 3 days, 3 nights, which are not so good?
Yes.
Not so
Yes.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And on the days which you don't have good sleep, what happens? So you go to
Okay.
bed, then
Yeah.
what? Tell me.
Sometimes I go to bed. Normally, oh yes, I know what happens. One interesting thing that happens is that if in that literally 15 minutes or so it takes me, 20 minutes it takes me to get to sleep, if there's any sudden noise or bang or unusual, well, noise really,
Yeah.
it's like I've lost my chance. I was ready to fall asleep, but there's this one thing, and then it's like a different mindset suddenly sets in straight away. It's like kind of, I don't know, it's very strange really, because I'm still calm and relaxed, but just one loud noise, and again, I put it down to adrenaline, just at that critical moment, that critical 15 minutes, then I kind of have a much shallower sleep straight away. It takes me a long time to get to sleep if I've got nothing bad the next day, nothing big the next day, and it's a much shallower sleep. But if I've got anything the next day, then I may not sleep at all, and then I might have to have a sleeping pill.
Oh, okay.
Because I give myself, I hate the sleeping pills because they are very bad for you, but I give myself 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours to drop off, and if I start to drop off in 2 or 3 hours, and I have half a pill, which will give me about 2 to 3 hours sleep, and that's what the pattern I tend to use.
Okay.
Um,
So would you take the sleeping pill every time? So you've given yourself 2, 3 hours to fall asleep. If you haven't fallen asleep after 3 hours, regardless of what the next day is going to be like, you will still take
yeah,
the sleeping pill. Is that right?
pretty much the case, unless of course it's after 5 o'clock, by which time it gives me 3 hours sleep, but it's going to be pushing it a bit because I'm always awake by 7. Because another thing about me is I'm not somebody who can catch up with my sleep the next day. It's not as if I can say, "Oh, I'll sleep till 11 this morning." No. Or 7 at the latest, I'm awake and too stimulated to kind of try and sleep anymore.
Okay. And do you ever sleep during the day? Do you ever fall asleep during the day or try and nap or what?
Well, I know it's advised against. So what I find I can do is just after I've eaten lunch, because I'm sort of a bit soporific at digesting, then I can grab 20 minutes sometimes. And when I do that, I feel very refreshed from that 20 minutes.
Okay.
What's very interesting is that all the experts say don't do any napping if you're an insomniac, you'll make it worse. What I've found, and this is definitely true, is if I don't get my 20 minutes after lunch, occasionally, well, most days actually, I'm actually worse. I'm more highly fraught that night and more likely not to sleep. And that's a fact. So it absolutely goes in the face of the advice.
Yes.
But I know that to be true.
I would actually. Yes.
Yeah.
Go on. Or what?
I'm definitely more highly strung, as it were, by bedtime if I haven't had my 20 minutes. So.
And do you dwell on it? Do you think, oh, I didn't have my 20 minutes?
I try not to, but there are times I do, yes, for sure.
So the thought might come into your head that, oh, I didn't have it. I'm going to have it.
But there are times when the thought definitely has not come into my head and the same pattern happens. That's the interesting thing.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's just start. Make sure your legs aren't crossed. Just
yes.
Okay. Right. So this is called the karate chop point on the side of the hand. You've done martial arts, and in karate, they show you breaking wood. Okay.
Yes.
So we start off here, and you can use either side, either hand, and I tend to use all my fingers on here, but you can use just 2. You can use all of them. Okay, and then I might do it on both sides. I'll show you the point. So this is a point, the karate chop point. Then we do the eyebrow, which is just at the beginning of the eyebrow, at the bridge of the nose, at the top of, that's it. And I use 2 fingers and just tapping gently round there, yes. Then on the side of the eye, which is, yes, lovely. Then under the eye, gently. Okay, under the nose, under the bottom lip, then here, where your collarbone is, basically. Sometimes I do under the arm, just about 3 inches under your armpit, a bit lower, that's it. And then top of the head, okay? And there are a few other points that I might add, sometimes I do on the side of the, I might do that, tapping the two wrists together. Okay. Now,
Oh,
yes, or one wrist. It's not exact, and if you do that instead of this, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And if you see me doing this, and then sometimes it's not because it's something special. It's just because I don't know. I've got tired with that hand, and I'm doing the other hand. Okay.
yeah.
So you can do it. You can either copy exactly what I'm doing, or just carry on doing on the one side with one particular hand, whatever you feel comfortable. Okay.
Okay.
And what I'd like you to do is to repeat what I'm saying. And as I said earlier, if there's anything that you feel, oh, that's not totally right, please interject and correct me. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tapping on the side of your hand. Okay. Yeah. The side. Yeah. Lovely. Okay. Right. Even though, repeat after me, please. Even though
Even though
I've got this sleep problem.
I've got this sleep problem,
I've had it for about 15 years.
I've had it for about 15
And
years.
that's a long time.
That's a long time.
It's a really long time.
It's a really long
I
time.
don't know what it's related to.
I don't know what it's related to.
It could be PTSD
It could be PTSD
related to the stabbing.
related to the stabbing.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But my father's death
But my father's death
triggered it all off.
triggered it all off.
But I don't think it was related to that.
But I don't think it was related to that.
I still choose
I still choose
to love and accept myself.
to love and accept myself
Anyway,
anyway.
even though
Even though
I've got this sleep problem.
I've got this sleep problem.
And it is a problem.
And it is a problem.
It's been affecting my life
It's been affecting my
for
life
the past 15 years.
for the last 15 years.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
choose
choose
to want to love and accept myself.
to want to love and accept myself
Anyway,
anyway.
okay, now 2 fingers on your eyebrow. This sleep problem,
This
Okay.
sleep problem,
side of the eye. This sleep problem,
this sleep problem,
under the eye. This sleep problem,
this sleep problem.
under the nose. I've had this for so long.
I've had this for so long.
Under the bottom lip. It's really debilitating.
Really debilitating.
Collarbone. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Top of the head. It's affected my life.
It's affected my life.
Eyebrow. It is affecting me.
It is affecting me.
Side of the eye. It's really having what kind of an effect would you call it?
Stunts creativity, ruins your memory,
Okay.
makes you irritable, lots of things.
It's having a profound effect.
Yeah, it's having a profound effect.
It stunts my creativity.
Stunts my creativity.
It's affecting my memory.
affecting my memory.
It's affecting everything.
Affecting everything.
It's limiting my life.
It's limiting my life.
I have to stunt my conversations
I have to stunt my conversations
in case it becomes too stimulating.
in case it becomes too stimulating.
My evening conversations.
My evening conversation.
I'm always aware,
I'm always aware,
thinking,
thinking,
I don't want it to be too stimulating
I don't want it to be too stimulating
because then I'm going to suffer.
because then I'm going to suffer.
I'm on tender hooks
I'm on tenterhooks
in the evening
in the evening
as it gets closer and closer to bedtime.
as it gets closer and closer to bedtime.
I try and relax.
I try and relax.
I get into that I try and get into that relaxed zone.
I try and get into that relaxed zone,
I sort of work my way through,
sort of work my way through,
almost standing on eggshells.
almost standing on eggshells,
hoping nothing is going to spoil this relaxed state
hoping nothing is going to spoil this relaxed state,
so that I can have at least 5 hours of sleep.
so that I can have at least 5 hours of sleep.
But oh no,
But oh no,
a dog starts barking.
a dog starts barking.
Some inconsiderate person
Some inconsiderate person
bangs their car door,
bangs their car door,
or somebody just shouts,
or somebody just shouts,
and it sets me off.
and it sets me off.
It's really awful.
It's really awful.
I'm tired of this.
I'm tired of this.
I'm really tired of this.
I'm really tired of this.
Actually, I'm physically tired
I'm physically tired.
because I don't get enough sleep.
I don't get enough sleep.
I want to sleep more.
I want to sleep more.
I want some good quality sleep.
I want some good quality sleep.
I really want some good quality sleep.
I really want some good quality sleep.
I deserve it.
I deserve it.
I deserve good quality sleep.
I deserve good quality sleep.
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
It's my right to have good quality sleep.
It's my right to have good quality sleep.
I've been doing everything I can think of.
I've been doing everything I can think of.
I've tried so many things
Tried so many things
over the past 15 years.
over the past 15 years.
I've been really good.
I feel really good.
I've been really good.
I've been really good.
Doing everything I've been told to do
Doing everything I've been told to do
and more,
and more,
but it's not happening.
but it's not happening.
I don't know why it's not happening.
I don't know why it's not
I
happening.
really don't know why it's not happening.
I really don't know why it's not happening.
Maybe I don't need more than 5 hours of sleep.
Maybe I don't need more than 5 hours of sleep.
Maybe I do.
Maybe I do.
All the experts say
All the experts say
you need 8 hours.
you need 8 hours.
I think I need 8 hours. Do you think you need 8 hours?
I think I need 8 hours. Do you think you need 8
No,
hours?
I'm asking you. Do you think you do?
Sorry. No, I think 7 or 6 will be fine.
Okay. I can do with 7 or 6.
I could do 7 or 6.
I'm not being greedy.
Not being greedy.
7 or 6 will do me fine.
7 or 6 will do me fine.
Mind you,
Mind you,
I don't know about the experts.
I don't know about the experts.
They said don't have a power nap.
They say don't have a power nap.
They said don't have any naps.
They say don't have any naps.
And I found
And I found
when I do have a nap,
when I do have a nap,
I'm much better for it.
I'm much better for it.
So there we go.
But there we go.
There are experts
There are experts.
and there are experts.
And there are experts.
Or maybe they're just real people.
Maybe they're just real people.
People who are all different.
People who are all different.
We're all different.
We're all different.
We all have different needs and experiences
We all have different needs and experiences
in some ways.
in some ways.
And in other ways,
In other ways,
we're all the same.
we're all the same.
We all need sleep,
We all need sleep,
food,
food,
water,
water.
but we all need different amounts.
But we all need different amounts.
I mean,
And me,
look at Mrs. Thatcher.
look at Mrs. Thatcher,
It's a well-known fact.
the well-known fact.
She only survived on 4 hours of sleep.
She only survived on 4 hours of sleep.
Some could say
Some could say
it contributed to her actions.
it contributed to her actions.
Some could say
Some could say
she was better for it.
it was better for it.
Who knows?
Who knows?
She managed on 4 hours.
She managed on 4 hours
I manage on 5 hours.
and 5.
But I'd like to have 6 or 7.
But I'd like to have 6 or 7.
6 or 7 hours
6 or 7 hours.
of wonderful sleep.
Wonderful sleep.
I can't wait to have 6 or 7 hours.
Can't wait to have 6 or 7 hours.
Let's make it 6.5 hours.
Let's make it 6.5 hours.
I can't wait to have 6.5 hours
I can't wait to have 6.5 hours.
of wonderful sleep.
Wonderful sleep.
Not worrying about dogs barking.
Not worrying about dogs barking.
Not worrying about having stimulants.
Not worrying about having stimulants.
I just want to be normal.
I want to be normal.
I want to be normal.
Be normal.
I really want to be just normal.
I really want to be just normal.
Do you? I'm asking you.
Yes.
What was that? Oh, yes.
A tricky one, that one.
What does normal mean to you?
Well, normal with sleep. I would certainly like to be normal with sleep.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Okay. And normal sleep is 6.5 hours? Okay.
Yeah, that would be fine.
I don't want to be normal.
I don't want to be normal.
And I want to be me.
I want to be me.
Who do you want to be, actually? I'm asking you.
I want to be me. I want to be more creative, more fun.
Okay, I want to be more creative.
My child, I have a child who's only known me since I had insomnia, who's never seen not seen much of the fun side of me.
Okay, have you got a fun side?
Yes. Oh yes.
Okay, so I just want to be me.
I just want to be me.
I want the old. Is it the old Adrian?
Yeah, I want the old Adrian.
Or do you want to give that Adrian a different name instead of old Adrian? Fun Adrian?
Yeah, fun Adrian.
No, you tell me. What would you like?
Yeah, fun Adrian is fine. Gracious Adrian.
Gracious. Okay.
Patient Adrian. Those things.
I want to be fun Adrian.
I want to be fun Adrian.
The Adrian that I was.
The Adrian that I was.
Gracious.
Gracious.
Patient.
Patient.
And fun.
And fun.
I wonder where that Adrian's gone.
I wonder where the Adrian's gone.
I wonder if he's gone.
I wonder if he's even gone.
Maybe he hasn't.
Maybe he hasn't.
Maybe he's still there.
Maybe he's still there.
And maybe I've just become preoccupied
I've just become preoccupied
with my sleep.
with my sleep.
This label.
That's labelled.
This label.
This label.
This insomniac label.
This insomniac label.
I'm an insomniac.
I'm an insomniac.
What do they call you, or what do you call yourself? I'm asking you. What did you say? You said something insomnia.
Chronic, because chronic implies it can't get shifted, because many people I know have had it for a short length of time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a chronic insomniac.
Chronic insomniac.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
That's just a label.
That's just a label.
I'm actually Adrian.
I'm actually Adrian.
Full of fun.
Full of fun.
Patient.
Patient.
Gracious.
Gracious.
But human
But human.
at the same time.
Same time.
And just like all humans,
And just like all humans,
I get mad.
I get mad.
We all have different levels.
We all have different levels.
But for me,
I
know when I don't have enough sleep,
I know that when I don't get enough sleep,
I get mad quickly.
I get mad quickly.
I get impatient.
Get impatient.
And I'm just no fun.
And I'm just no fun.
I love and accept myself.
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 Because deep down, I'm Adrian.
I'm Adrian.
I'm actually Adrian.
I'm actually Adrian.
Fun.
Fun.
I've had lots of fun.
I've lots of fun.
I've studied martial arts.
I've studied martial arts.
What did you do at university?
Italian and French degree.
I did an Italian and French degree.
Yeah. I did an Italian and French degree.
I've taught kids, lots of children.
Lots of.
I've taught lots of children.
Lots of children.
I've
Yeah.
tutored lots of children.
Tutored lots of children.
Maths, English. What else did you tutor them in?
Science, French, even.
Oh,
Yeah.
science, French. So actually, I've got loads of skills. And what else? How did you get into this hi-fi?
It was a hobby when I was 15 years of age. I got into hi-fi. Yes, and I just enjoyed the music and trying to reproduce it as
Okay.
believably as possible. Trying to make the singer like she's there in the room in front of you.
You would try and what?
To make it as if the singer were in this room in front of you.
Oh.
Recreate the
Okay.
singer.
And
Believably.
how do you do that?
You can use silver wires to make a female voice project more. You can use thicker cables to get deeper bass. You can use valves, which give a more three-dimensional sound stage.
Do you like that work?
I love that work, yes.
Okay. And what do you love about it?
For some people, it's the nearest thing to meditation. Some busy people, they come home and they put their system on,
yes,
and they take the light down maybe, and they really relax in a way that only meditation maybe can recreate. But not everyone's got time to learn meditation.
No. So do you find when you put that on, what happens to you?
You can get what's the word? Forgotten the word now.
Transcend into
another place.
Okay.
Taken to another place in your mind,
Yeah.
away from your work, away from your stresses.
And do you do that at all?
I do that, but I've actually had conversation with people, talking in a noisy place, a restaurant or something. It takes so much concentration, I almost opt out,
Yes.
So another reason to be sort of retire from sort of circulating a bit. The various things seem to have gone together to make me less sociable, less
yes.
social. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what was coming up for you when we were tapping?
What feeling was I getting?
Yes.
I think I felt more relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say more relaxed. It's
And
like release of tension, I would say.
okay. What about thoughts? What thoughts were coming to you?
less worried, maybe, less concerns, less, yeah.
Any thoughts about, like we touched on your father, we touched on the stabbing, we touched on the amount of sleep and walking on eggshells, and
Well,
what thoughts came into your mind?
okay. Well, one that I have thought before is, how much sleep do I actually need? I don't necessarily need 8 hours, correct? I agree. But I have come to the conclusion that although 5 is my average, 5 isn't really enough for me. Maybe my average. It doesn't mean that that's what my body wants. Like,
Sure.
it's just that, I've been there before, thought about that before. I know when I get 6, I feel great, and 6 would be fine.
Yes.
For example, that was one thing. Then I think you mentioned that, it's more from what you said than the tapping, I think, or maybe the combination of the two. I've always had problems with the concept of loving yourself or liking yourself.
Yes, I've noticed your face go a bit.
I find it hard. I also find the concept of confidence hard as well, self-confidence, because so many people have got obnoxious self-confidence that I'm always more drawn to unconfident people personally. But so I have got a few complexes on some of these issues,
Okay.
So I probably make things overcomplicated for myself. But loving yourself, I'm not quite sure. I've had very conditional love from my mother all my life.
Okay.
And that's a big problem. So it's a hard one to kind of even understand in a way what that means.
Okay.
Really, I don't even know what it means really.
Well, what does conditional love from my mother mean? Tell me that.
Means that if I did what she wanted, I was approved of for that moment. And if I did anything slightly different from the way she wanted it, I was told off, hated, or railed at, a million things,
Okay. And do you think that your mother loves you?
Conditionally, completely on her terms, only her terms.
Okay.
I have to get absolutely a carbon copy of what she would do in a given situation, which changes from day to day, then maybe.
Okay.
Otherwise, not.
Okay. And how true do you think that is? Totally true? Are you totally
Well, having come here, I've seen it all afresh. I've just, having come here near her, I see that with fresh eyes, and it makes me very angry.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And how do you deal with that?
I've tried every way possible. I've tried to ignore it. I've tried to ridicule it. I've tried to be angry back, aggressive back, everything, and I don't find a solution really because it's so changeable. It's not even like a set pattern whereby you could say, well, if I do that, because each day it could be a different thing. It's not very rational. It's her terms are very, very changeable.
Okay. So when she is changeable and when she's asked you to do something, you do it. Then
immediately, otherwise there's no peace. Yes. Yeah,
sorry, say that again.
You have to do it immediately as well, by the way. Immediately.
You have to do it immediately. Okay, so she asks you to do something. Can we go through an example? Give me an actual example. A simple example. Or complicated, whatever you want.
Well, maybe can you put a painting up for me? Can you put a picture up for me? So, first of all, if I delay, you won't hear the end of it, Okay. So even if you're doing something far more important, you must jump to it. And then you do it, and it's not quite straight, a bit lower than she asked you, a bit higher than she asked you to put it. If it falls down, you'll never hear the end of it, And
so she asks you to put up a painting, and you do it straight away. You go, okay, Mum, where do you want it? And then you go and put it up, right? What happens then if you do that?
Well, usually that's the best scenario because you do it, it's done.
Yes. So what happens then? What happens in this best scenario when you do it? What happens?
You've done it immediately. You've done it more or less where she wanted it,
and you've done it perfectly the way she wanted it. Then
Yeah.
what happens?
Then you may not hear about it again.
Okay, so then how do you know she has loved you at that time?
Oh well, because she says thank you.
So she says thank you. Does she come and give you a hug or kiss or says, "Oh, Adrian, you're the best son in the world"? Or I mean, tell me exactly what happens.
Just says thank you for doing that.
Okay, right. So now let's go to the other side. Okay. So then she says, so at that stage, you know that she loves you because she said thank you. Is that right?
I suppose so. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
no, I'm just trying to understand.
I see it more as a matter that she seems to appreciate it. I wouldn't say love you, but she appreciates that you've done it when she wanted, immediately, and as she wanted, and then you.
Okay.
I would say appreciate for that more than.
So she's appreciative of you. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. When you do that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then, the other scenario. So she says, "Can you put this painting up?" And you're in the middle of doing something. So you say, run it.
Tomorrow morning, whatever it may be, another day later on.
And then what happens?
First of all, if you forget, she'll be banging on the door with an aggressive look in her face straight away. And if you remember, then fair enough, I suppose you go and do it. And it's not as good if you do it immediately, I suppose. But
how? Okay, what changes? What happens when? So I want to know. If I was a fly on the wall, how would I know that she's in a different state? So she's asked you, "Can you put the painting up?" And you say to her, "I can't do it today because I've got an appointment or whatever." Then what happens? Tell me what happens.
She accepts the fact that you can't do it straight away. But if you forget, which does happen,
so hold on. Sorry, at that time, when she accepts that you can't do it, what do you feel when you look at her?
I feel that if you make her wait, you could absolutely remember when you said you're going to do it, otherwise there's going to be much worse trouble than if you...
Yeah, so I'm guessing, so do you have any trepidation or do you have any anxiety when you're about to say, when she said, "Can you put a painting up?" You're just about to say, like I remember as a child, I'd be thinking, "Oh God, I'm going to have to say this to them. And I don't want them, I'm not saying what they want to hear."
Yes.
So inside, suddenly you're feeling whatever. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yeah, yes, that's right. I mean, to say I'll do it later, you feel...
So tell me about that.
I'll do it straight away.
Yeah, so tell me about that feeling. Tell me about that feeling that you... Yeah. What is that feeling?
The feeling is that on the level of an adult, I feel like I should absolutely be able to say that with no problem at all. But on another level, it causes complications, problems. It's prone to make things worse.
Okay, and what happens physically when you're about to say no to her? "I can't do it today."
I tend to feel things in my stomach, I suppose, on the whole. So I suppose the stomach may feel a bit sort of unsettled.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you say, "No, I can't do it this morning. I will do it Tuesday." Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
2 days later or whatever. So then Tuesday comes along and you've forgotten because you had an unexpected...
Well, it happened,
So then what happens? Tell me what happens.
Well, then at some points you can say, "You didn't do that thing that I asked you to do," and you see eyes popping out, "You completely forgot that I wanted that done,"
And then
making it very heavy, making it, fall from a great height, whatever the expression is, making it feel like a big deal, such a small thing.
Yes. And then what are you feeling at that time?
Irritated that I hadn't done it when I said I would, because of course it's put me into that vulnerable position, if you want to call it vulnerable position.
Yeah.
And then I tend to try and do it then and there,
And then, so then you go and put the painting up and it's not totally straight.
Yes, that's right.
Then what happens?
She might call you a twit, an idiot. You're not very bright, are you, or whatever she might say. Something
Okay.
quite,
And then
quite
what?
demeaning.
And then what? So it's not straight. She's saying things. Oh, you're such a twit. You can't do it properly.
Yeah.
Then what? So then you're trying to adjust it.
So I'm annoyed at the time, and I improve it and put it right.
Yes.
Whatever she wants. But overall, the confidence is really knocked. I'm quite surprised that even at my age, she can absolutely destroy my confidence. Quite surprised at that. And she can affect. A normal person wouldn't be able to do that to me, but she can absolutely take my confidence right down.
Yeah.
And she keeps doing so.
Yeah.
Keeps doing so.
Okay. Okay. And talking about this, I'm sorry, but talking about this, how are you feeling? Because
Well, it's very fresh in my mind because we've had a hoo-ha only the other day, a big one. And, because it's not just, it's more than that, of course. She also says we never do anything for her. I never do anything for her, and she forgets. She's got a selective kind of mind where she remembers what she wants to remember. And what I've done nothing for her. And you think, well, so what did I do? Jump through all those hoops for if I've done nothing for her? It's like the worst of both worlds, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
It's very, very annoying.
Okay, and then what do you do? Say that again.
No, it's very fresh in my mind at the moment because it's happened literally yesterday.
Okay, all right, okay. And then what do you do? So does she live in the house next door, or does she live with you?
Yeah. In a flat next door, as it were. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So then you came back feeling very annoyed yesterday about a situation, and then what did you do when you came back to your own house, to your own flat?
I found it hard to get it out of my mind.
Okay. What did you do? Tell me a bit more about that.
But even if I were watching TV or talking to my son or whatever it may have been, it was still in the back of my mind. Gosh, she thinks that we've done nothing for her. I've done nothing for her, and we've actually done a lot for her. And she, and then when you remind her of the individual things you've done, each one she'll say, "Well, that wasn't done right. That was done crooked. That was done not the way I wanted." So when you actually say, "Well, actually, what?" "Oh yes, that, but that you didn't," So it really is like insult to injury for me.
Yes, of course. Goodness. So then, okay. So you were sitting down watching TV with your son, but you kept this was playing in your mind. And then what happened? Tell me what else was happening.
Well, then by bedtime I try and relax more, and I feel I'm relaxed more. But at some level, it's still probably running through the mind because then, lo and behold, I have a worse than average night's sleep, maybe a 3-hour night's sleep rather than a 5-hour sleep.
Yes.
And
Okay.
that sort of thing affects me as well.
Yeah.
The insomnia is on for many reasons, not just a noise. Sure. It can be all sorts of things. Really, that's the trouble.
Okay, let's do a bit of tapping then. Okay, karate chop point. Even though my mum is really annoying.
My mum is really annoying.
She is so annoying.
She's so annoying.
She's never happy with anything I do for her.
She's never happy with anything I do for her.
I still choose to love and accept myself. Anyway. Even though I don't think she loved me.
I don't think she loves me.
Even though
I
had a really hard time yesterday. My mum was so annoying. She's never happy with anything I do. She finds fault in everything. Even me. As a person.
Especially me as a person.
And I'm so upset.
I'm so upset. Angry.
And I'm so angry.
I'm angry.
I totally and completely choose to love and accept myself. Even though she might not do.
Even though she does not yet.
I'm so upset.
I'm so upset.
I'm so upset.
I'm so upset.
I'm really angry.
Really angry.
Ugh, that woman.
That woman.
She's so frustrating.
So frustrating.
I can't believe how annoying she is.
I can't believe how annoying she is.
And I put up with this.
I put up with this.
What would you call this? What word would you say this is? I mean, you can use any word you want, any expletives or any expressions, whatever. Tell me, what would you call this?
Circus.
What?
Circus.
I didn't get it.
I know, it's like a circus.
Circus.
It's like
Okay.
it's like a
Yeah.
cycle that keeps happening, a silly act,
I'm fed up of this circus.
Fed up of this circus.
I've had enough of this circus.
Had enough of this circus.
This never-ending cycle.
Never-ending cycle.
Do this. Do this.
Do this.
Do that.
Do that.
Do this.
Do this.
Do that.
Do that.
It's never right.
It's never right.
I didn't do it properly.
I didn't do it properly.
I didn't do it when she asked me to.
Didn't do it when she asked me to.
I didn't do it gently enough.
I didn't do it gently enough.
I didn't do it straight enough.
Didn't do it straight enough.
I didn't do it quickly enough.
Didn't do it quickly enough.
Oh my God, this circus.
Oh my God, this circus.
I am sick of it.
Sick of it.
Sick of Mum's circus. What do you call her? Mum, mother, mama? What do you call her?
Mum.
I'm sick of Mum's circus.
Sick of Mum's circus.
I've had enough.
Had enough.
That's it. I've had enough.
I've had enough.
I'm 54, for goodness sake.
54, for goodness sake.
And this woman, is she smaller than you?
Yeah.
Is she very small compared to you?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
About a foot shorter.
Would you call her, what would you call her? Little woman, tiny woman, small woman?
Small woman.
Okay. And this small woman
Small woman.
is winding me up.
Winding me up.
She does this almost every day.
Does this almost every day.
And the worst thing is, she's still doing it.
She's still doing it.
Even when she's not in front of me.
Even when she's not in front of me.
Because I can hear her voice.
I can hear her voice.
Going on and on.
Going on and on.
In my head.
In my head.
And then.
It's
not just her voice.
Not just her voice.
It's my voice.
It's my voice.
I can hear myself.
I can hear myself.
I can get mad at myself.
I can get mad at myself.
For not speaking up to her.
For not speaking up to her.
Is that what you feel? Do you get mad at yourself or not? Tell me.
Well, I do stick up for myself, and I've tried everything you can imagine, as I say. So I sort of gone beyond blaming myself, actually.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've
You don't blame
No.
yourself. Okay, that's fine. All right. So what do you feel then about the dynamics of that relationship?
That she's unbalanced.
Okay. This unbalanced woman.
This unbalanced woman.
Is affecting me.
It's affecting me.
She's really affecting me.
Really affecting me.
And I'm fed up with this circus.
Fed up with this circus.
It's really bothering me.
Really bothering me.
I've had enough.
I've had enough.
I've really had enough.
I've really had enough.
And I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
To move on.
Move on.
I'm allowed to move on.
I'm allowed to move on.
It's okay to move on.
It's okay to move on.
I'm okay to move on.
I'm okay to move on.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
I don't love and accept myself.
I don't love and accept myself.
My mum doesn't love me.
My mum doesn't love me.
Or maybe she does.
Or maybe she does.
Maybe she doesn't know how to love me.
Maybe she doesn't know how to love me.
In the way that I want.
In the way that I want.
She loves me in a peculiar way.
She loves me in a peculiar way.
In her own unbalanced way.
in her own unbalanced way.
It's not in my way. It's not the way I like it.
Not the way I like it.
I really don't like it.
I really don't like it.
But maybe she doesn't know any different.
But maybe she doesn't know any different.
Yes, she does.
Yes, she does.
She loves other people in different ways.
She loves other people in different ways.
And I want her to love me in a better way.
And I want her to love me in a better way.
I wish she was a yummy mummy.
I wish she were a yummy mummy.
Like those lovely Italian women.
Like those lovely Italian women.
Who love their boys.
Who love their boys.
Those mamas.
Those mamas.
Who are always hugging and kissing their boys.
They're always hugging and kissing their boys.
I wish I had an Italian mama.
Wish I had an Italian mama.
But I don't.
But I don't.
I've got my mum.
Got my mum.
She's unbalanced.
She's unbalanced.
And she creates this circus.
And she creates a circus.
And I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of it.
I've had enough.
Had enough.
I've had enough.
I've had enough.
It's time for me.
Time for me.
To stand up for myself.
To stand up for myself.
In a different way.
In a different way.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
I choose to 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 love and accept myself.
Okay, I want you to shout this out. I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
I'm okay loving and accepting myself.
I'm okay loving and accepting myself.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what that means.
But I'm open to the possibility.
But I'm open to the possibility.
That maybe I will.
That maybe I will.
And it will be okay.
And it will be okay.
Because actually, deep down, I'm not broken.
I'm not broken.
And I definitely don't need fixing.
And I definitely don't need fixing.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm really okay.
I'm really okay.
Deep down, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Fun Adrian.
I'm Adrian.
Do you call yourself Andy? Or what do you call yourself? Adrian or Andy? Or
No, Adrian.
Adrian. I'm Adrian. Fun.
Fun.
Gracious.
Gracious.
Patient.
Patient.
Andy.
Adrian.
Oh, sorry. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Adrian. I'm so sorry. Oh, fun.
Fun.
Gracious.
Gracious.
Patient.
Patient.
Adrian.
Adrian.
I love and accept myself.
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 I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Despite Mum.
Despite Mum.
Despite Mum and her circus.
Despite Mum and her circus.
It's her circus anyway.
It's her circus anyway.
I don't have to be part of it.
I don't have to be part of it.
I wonder what would happen.
I wonder what would happen.
If I thought about things in a different way.
If I thought about things in a different way.
I wonder what would happen.
I wonder what would happen.
If I came to the understanding.
If I came to the understanding.
That everything.
That everything.
Is an inside job.
Is an inside job.
How I feel.
How I feel.
Is an inside job.
Is an inside job.
Sure, my mum gets mad.
Sure, my mum gets mad.
She gets mad at me.
She gets mad at me.
She calls me horrible names.
She calls me horrible names.
She says I'm an idiot.
She says I'm an idiot.
I'm not very clever.
Not very clever.
Can't do things right.
Can't do things right.
But I know who I am.
But I know who I am.
Just because she says something,
Just because she says something,
time and time again,
time and time again,
doesn't make it true.
doesn't make it true.
What did you I've tutored kids.
I tutored kids.
And how are the kids that you tutored? Did they improve in their subjects or not?
Yes, no, I very much enjoyed that.
Right. So you would get
Yes.
more children coming to you, would you?
Yeah,
Oh, and why would you get more children coming to you?
by recommendation.
Oh, right. And why were you being recommended?
So I was doing it well.
Because you were doing it well. I'm good at tutoring.
I'm good at tutoring.
In order to be a good tutor,
In order to be a good tutor,
you need to know your stuff.
you need to know your stuff.
So obviously,
So obviously,
I knew some stuff,
I knew some stuff,
just like everyone.
just like everyone.
We all know some stuff
We all know some stuff
about some things.
about some things.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I really am okay.
I really am okay.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I give myself permission
I give myself permission
to be totally okay.
to be totally okay.
It's got nothing to do with Mum
Nothing to do with Mum
and her opinions
and her opinion
and her names.
and her name.
And her names. Her
And her
name
name.
calling. Her name calling. It's got nothing to do with that.
Sorry, yes. And her name called again.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I really am okay.
I really am okay.
I'm fun,
I'm fun,
creative,
creative,
gracious,
gracious,
patient.
patient.
I love and accept myself.
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 Take a deep breath and let go. Okay, tell me what was coming up for you. Have a drink as well, babe.
Yeah, getting closer to loving and accepting myself, distancing myself from my mother, really, not needing to have her approval, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds a bit pathetic in a way because obviously, because it's more than that. She actually involves the whole family and brings them all down because they're not, I'm used to her ways. But having my wife and kid here,
Yes.
it brings them down, and it's actually a lot to do with that. It's not, I'm used to this circus, but
Yes.
it's that I see them affected because they're not used to people that are so irrational, so changeable, so unreasonable, and that I feel responsible. You know, it's a bit more complex than just wanting mummy to
Yes.
look up to me. I don't, in a way, I don't need that, and you know, it's just that when you're living in it, you know, it's difficult. You know.
Okay.
But I can see, yeah, no, I have to rely on myself. You know, not need her.
Yes. Now, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
When she says something to you,
Mm-hmm.
like she says, what what was the word she'd say? You don't know anything. What did she say? You're
not very bright anymore. She says you're not as bright as you used to be, is what she likes to say.
okay.
An odd one, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she says you're not as bright as you used to be. Then what is the thought that comes into your mind at that time?
There's a fear that insomnia has affected my intelligence, for sure.
Okay.
Because there could be truth in it, but it's a painful truth. 15 years, it's not easy.
No.
So, that kind of thing makes it harder to dismiss it, because you think on one level, oh, maybe she's right, but it's not a nice truth. It's not something I want to be told particularly, Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so when she says, oh, you're not as bright as you used to be, or you're not as intelligent as you used to be, so then you think, oh, yeah, maybe the insomnia has affected me. What else do you think?
Well, also, her arguments are not very solid. They're easy to take apart.
Okay.
So, on the other hand, I think, no, but who's she to talk? But the trouble is, she's so convinced in her world anyway that it doesn't really matter how well you argue back. She believes you did that wrongly, or whether you did it perfectly or beautifully or wonderfully. She will believe, for the sake of her own mind, that you've done it in common ways she makes out you've done. So obviously it doesn't help very much the fact that it's easy to argue against her, because she believes what she believes.
Yes.
There's no convincing her.
How old is she?
84 now, but
Okay.
she's been like this a long time. It's not just in her later age. She's been like that
Okay.
all her life, really.
Yes.
All her life, really.
And do you know what her upbringing was like?
Yeah, she had a tough upbringing. She had a few tough incidents in her life, like many people did, Yeah.
Okay. But what were her parents like? Do you know?
Her father brought her up to be like a boy. He very much wanted a son, and she had no son. So she had to go hunting and skinning rabbits and stuff. And her mother, I think, was probably quite critical and quite hard to please.
Do you think her father was disappointed with her?
Her partner.
Her father.
Sorry. Her father. They clashed a lot together because they were similar. They argued a lot with each other. So in that respect, yes, they did argue a lot.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's just do a little bit of tapping. Even though my mother is an elderly woman.
My mother is an elderly woman.
She's got an incredible mouth.
Got an incredible mouth.
And a way with her words.
And way with her words.
I totally and completely give myself permission.
Give myself permission.
To love and accept myself anyway.
Love and accept myself anyway.
Even though.
I've
got a problem with my mother.
I've got a problem with my mother.
And her circus. Because it doesn't just affect me.
It doesn't just affect me.
It affects my wife and my child.
Affects my wife and my child.
I totally and completely. Give myself permission.
Give myself permission.
To love and accept myself.
To love and accept myself.
Anyway. My mother. My elderly mother. She's got a lot of stuff going on. I wonder why she is the way she is. Her father always wanted a boy. He brought her up like a boy. Maybe he was totally disappointed. Deeply disappointed. That she wasn't a boy. But he carried on regardless. And I have no idea. Do you know, were you around when? Have you seen your grandfather interacting with your mother at all, or not?
Yes, yes.
And what was he like when you would be interacting with her?
Well, the worst was when they were a complete loggerheads. So you'd be driving down a motorway, you'd go that way, and you'd be, they'd be screaming at each other that it's that way, and they both were absolutely convinced they were right, so there'd be no compromise, no apology when the other one was proved wrong, just,
Okay.
eyeballing each other, that kind of thing,
And then afterwards, would he ever say anything to her? Would he call her, say, "Oh, you're not very clever," or anything? Would he, tell me what he...
I don't know. I suspect so. I don't know the fact, but I suspect so. They sure didn't back down or apologise to each other. They were just, not backtrack. They were just,
Okay. All right. So, even though my mother and grandfather would never apologise to each other, I wonder if my mother actually knows how to apologise.
If my mother actually knows how to apologise.
Maybe she doesn't. Most of us parent the way we've been parented. Or we do the complete opposite. We go from one extreme to the other. We go from a certain way of parenting to another. I wonder what happened with my mother. She was very similar to her father. She probably couldn't say no. No, she did say no, didn't she? She'd argue with him.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She knew how to argue. But perhaps she didn't know how to compromise. Maybe that's the way she was brought up. She had her own reality. Just like I have my own reality. Actually, we all have our own realities. She's trying to do what she knows. In the way that she knows. She doesn't know any different. I don't like her way. It doesn't suit me. But actually, it doesn't define me. I'm not who she says I am. I'm Adrian. I can be whatever I want. I know what I am. I'm kind. Sometimes. I'm creative. Sometimes. I'm patient. Sometimes. I can be whatever I want. I choose to love and accept myself. And be whatever I want. Mum doesn't define me. I can define myself. I'm okay. I really am okay. It's got nothing to do with Mum. I'm in my own reality. I love and accept myself. I'm okay. Take a deep breath. Okay. Tell me what was coming up for you.
Yeah, but very much she wanted to define me. It's true. She absolutely wants, almost like to be her automaton, really. And of course, it's true that she doesn't define me. It's obviously, having been brought up by her, you've got those patterns, you've got those ways of looking at things, But no, she of course doesn't define me. She tries so hard, though. It's very overpowering because she's a very overpowering person.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean she has to, of course. Yeah, it's true.
And I'm wondering also that actually, there's this wonderful thing, and this gives us so much power because we are always thinking we are always feeling our thinking.
Mm.
Okay?
Mm.
So it's not somebody else that makes us feel a certain way. It's our thoughts that make us feel a certain way. Right? Our feelings are a barometer of our thoughts. Okay? So if I want you just to remember yourself as a 14-year-old, you said your heads were in the clouds and you were like kind of easy. Just go back to that for a moment.
Yes. I was a dreamer.
What's the feeling in you as you think of that time?
Light, carefree.
But what's the feeling? What do you feel when you're thinking?
Happy.
Happy, easy.
Yeah.
Right? Now that came from what? It came from a thought. You just thought back to 14-year-old Adrian, and then your feelings changed.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So we are always feeling our thinking, right? And actually, it's really interesting. I'll give you a story that I heard from this lovely, lovely lady, and she was talking about. She said that she and her husband, they love to go for walks, and they also loved bird watching. So they saw a bird fly into this tree, and she said to her husband, "Did you see that bird?" And he said, "No." And then they decided between themselves that they would stand either side of the tree and wait for the bird to fly out, because sure enough it would fly out. And then they were standing waiting there, looking, and then the bird flew out. She saw the bird fly out, but it flew out from the direction where her husband was standing. So she couldn't see it properly. He could see it from this side and she was this side. So he couldn't see it. And then she said, "Did you see the bird?" And he said, "No." And she said, "What do you mean, no?" He said, "Well, I looked away." And she said, "You looked away? How could you do that? We were standing here to look at the bird. How could you?" And she got really mad. And she thought, "Oh, he's so annoying." And actually, what we say is that he made me mad because he looked away. I got mad. And if he hadn't looked away, I wouldn't have got mad. Right? But actually, the reality is getting mad came from inside. He had nothing to do with it. He didn't even know that he was contributing to her getting mad. Right? So, when we realize that our feelings come from our thinking, it actually becomes so powerful, because then nobody is able to control us. Right?
Yes.
When mum says, "Oh, well, you're not as intelligent as you used to be," we could think, "Oh, it's so annoying. That's all you do. You criticize. You're never happy with anything. I never do anything for you." Sure, right? Now, but if I want to then take it further and I get mad, like, "Oh, you're so irritating. You just drive me up the wall." My shoulders go up and I'm like, who's doing that? She isn't. She's said something from her own reality. She's said something from her own reality because she doesn't know any different. All she's been brought up with is you have to do things perfectly, whatever perfect is, right? There is no perfection in the world, right? So she's been brought up with you have to do things perfectly. Probably her father expected her to do everything perfectly. So that's what she expects from a boy, Perhaps she doesn't expect
Yes.
it from a girl, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Okay,
The story.
yeah, so
Yeah.
her father expected her to behave like a boy, even though she wasn't a boy. And now she has a boy. And she's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be damned if he does not behave like the perfect boy. Right?
Yeah.
That's her
Yeah.
reality. That's the way her construct of her world has become. But
Yeah.
you're this lovely, dreamy, innocent boy who has
Yeah.
no idea what's going on in her head.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not even doing it consciously. It's her automatic way of dealing with boys. Her
Yeah.
son, right?
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
And you are in your own reality. You're like this lovely free spirit, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't know. And then you've got this woman who has this definition of what a boy should be, and you keep doing things. And then, yeah, you had a terrible tragedy, a terrible situation that happened, but
Mm-hmm.
you were amazing. You got through it.
Mm-hmm.
And you did something so proactive. You went and you did martial arts, 3 different martial arts, and you really, did something positive out of that. That was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, something happened with your father. Your father passed away, died suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps, I don't know, was he a bit more of a supporter of yours, or a bit more of a mellowed the situation, or what was he like?
Yeah. He was more mellow. He was very sort of stiff upper lip Englishman.
Okay.
And he was mellow in a sense. I mean, he kept out of things a bit too much, but he certainly didn't stir up the fire or anything. He was
Okay.
more.
Yeah. So he had gone, and so now you were just left with this lady who is
Yes.
like, this is how boys should be. This is how my son should be. A bit like a Dalek. There is only
But,
one way.
but when you told the story about the tree and the birds,
Yes.
my mum's way of thinking is that husband should have been tuned in to and therefore not blinked or looked away that moment, because
Yeah.
she should have intuited that at that moment that the important thing was to look at the bird.
Yes.
And she's always made you feel you've got to be more tuned into her
Yes.
needs, which are very difficult, because you can tune into some people's needs sometimes, of course you can, but hers are very, very changeable and
Yes.
difficult. But they're not.
She expects you to be her mind reader.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
And you're not.
I've said that phrase, used that phrase before, And funny enough, in my working life, even with very difficult customers, I've actually found it quite easy to intuit and know what they want and please them, because they all seem eminently reasonable compared to her.
Okay. Yes.
And weirdly, I've actually done too much for a lot of customers and bent over backwards too much, but somehow, because there's a part of me that wants to sort of please, and I haven't been able to please her because she's impossible to please. So I please people that don't even deserve it a lot of the time, to be honest with you. I have done that in my working life.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes. So if we just dwell on the fact that actually it's all an inside job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How we feel comes from the inside. So my mother can't make me. My mother cannot make me feel anything. So that lady who got upset, she was really fuming, really mad. And then after a few moments, she thought, actually, I'm doing this to myself. I'm getting mad.
Yeah.
Sure, he should have been looking. But actually, I'm the one who's getting mad. I'm the one who's suffering. My blood pressure is going up. My heart rate is increasing. I'm doing this to me. He's not even touching me.
Yes. Yeah.
And when what I would suggest is, when a thought comes into your mind, as it will, because somebody said that, I think some research said that we have about 10,000 thoughts a day. And actually, do you know what? We tend to cling on to particular thoughts and really hold on to them. But kids are great. Young children are amazing because they don't hold on to their thoughts. They're like, I want to watch Teletubbies. Yes, I want it. I want Teletubbies. I want it. And they'll be screaming, kicking, crying, whatever. And then if you stick to your guns and say, no, you can't watch Teletubbies. No, there's no. They will maybe have a tantrum. But then a few minutes later, they'll be like, can we go to the park? Well, I'm hungry. Can I have a Jaffa cake or something? Just like that. But what has changed? Nothing. It's just their thought has changed. So they've stopped clinging on to Teletubbies. And they've allowed it to pass by. And they've allowed the next thought to come. Excuse me. Let me just turn this off. Sorry. So they allow it just to pass by. So we can actually get into that state. And how do we get into that state? It's really easy. We do nothing. We do absolutely nothing. So at that time, when your mother says something, and I'm sure she will come up with something tomorrow or this afternoon or whatever, right? Just be curious as to what your next thought is going to be. Just say, I wonder what my thought's going to be. And then allow it. I mean, it could be, oh, this woman's so annoying. Here we go again on that damn circus or whatever. And then just like, wonder what my next thought is. That's interesting. And then just allow it to pass by. And actually, one other practical suggestion I would give is to physically be looking up. I'd like you just to look up now. Look up towards the ceiling, right? Or the corner of the ceiling or the coving or whatever. And I want you just to think something annoying about your mother as you're looking up. All right, now look down. Look at me. Now I want you just to look down towards the ground and I want you to think of something annoying about your mother. Which one was easier?
Looking up.
Looking up was easier. What? To think of something annoying about your mother.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant looking up was easier to dispel it.
Yes, that's exactly it, actually. Because when we look up, it opens up and we get more oxygen in. Our diaphragm's opened up. And it allows us to be lighter and easier. So that's a simple technique that we can use when we're feeling down, is just to look up. Because it's very difficult to be in a depressive, sad state when we're looking up. We can still be in a sad, depressive state, but it's more easier. And there is a depressed posture. It's usually head down to the side, looking down. You know,
that's me. That's very much me, actually.
Yeah.
I'm always looking down.
So when we catch ourselves doing that, I would say physically, just look up and just start noticing. Oh, I've never noticed that. Oh gosh, there are cobwebs there. Or, you know, do activities which are going to be looking up. So perhaps at that time, go for a walk outside. Notice the clouds, different shapes of the clouds, the trees, the birds, the leaves. You know, do up activities. I say to some of my clients, start cleaning or do your up cleaning, you know, doing things that involve, and that simple technique can lift one's spirits. Okay, right. Now, I'm conscious of the time and I'd like to stop now here. And I would expect you to be getting into easier sleeping routine. You know, it's really incredible because the human body is remarkable and everything is connected. Our emotional state is totally connected with our physical state. And if we sort out the emotional aspect of things, then the physical things just start falling into place. Okay? And we did a little bit of work on the sleeping. But to me, that's not really the main issue, you know. And what I'd just like you to do, I'll give you a quick, easy way, is we can do this tapping like this on your edge. Yeah. That's perfect. And you could do it with one hand as well. So if you're somewhere on the edge, can you see? I don't know. Am I showing it properly?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're somewhere and you're getting rattled, you can just be tapping like this. Nobody would know what you're doing. So when your mum's saying something, you could say, I love and accept myself. I choose to love and accept myself. I choose to love and accept myself. Just say that. And I choose to love and accept myself. Okay. And you write it down. Yeah. And just one thing is a lovely technique is just become aware where your shoulders are and put them down. Because often our shoulders are up when we're upset or tense. So just put them down. And I'd like to connect with you in a week's time to find out how things are going.
Okay.
Perhaps I think we'll do it at the same time next week. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. If there's any problems, I'll let you know if I need to change the date or whatever. Okay. Are there any questions you'd like to ask me?
No, I won't feel I want to think about loving and accepting myself. It's something I've always had a blockage about, but I will do so.
But actually, can I just suggest something? Please don't think about it. Just be. No, just be. Okay? You are Adrian, okay? And you are full of love. And there was a time where you were consciously loving and accepting yourself. And you still have that. You still have it within you. And you don't need to do anything because you said you're into creativity. And can you tell me what was your best time of creativity?
When I was very reclusive, I didn't even answer the phone or the door when it rang, and I was just inventing things inventive, I should say. I became quite inventive. I had complete time to think about what I wanted to create, and I carried on doing it and didn't even want to be disturbed by the phone or the door. That's not exactly...
And if the phone and the door had been going, would you have noticed it?
Yes, but I would have not wanted to respond because I was enjoying my train of thought so much.
Yeah. Sometimes people call that the zone when they're just totally into something and they're really just, almost time stands still and you're just doing your stuff and then you look, oh my goodness, 2 hours have gone by. I can't believe it. Right?
That's right.
And at that time, you're not actually doing anything. You're just being and things are just flowing. Right? So it's not a question of consciously saying, right, I'm really going to love and accept. No. You will automatically love and accept yourself just by being and just allowing thoughts to pass by. Thoughts don't tell us anything about the reality. They just tell us what we are feeling, what we are feeling at that time is related to what we are thinking.
Yes.
That's all they are. They can't predict the future. And the future isn't even here. And the past doesn't exist. We are only here right now. And right now, are you okay?
I feel more settled for sure, more calm, more settled. Yeah. Less...
So moment to moment, live your life moment to moment. You're okay.
Well, the funny thing was that I did live my life moment to moment until the age of 38. That's the funny thing. I lost faith in my instinct and all sorts of things happened after 38.
You still have it. You still have it. It's all there. It's all there. And sometimes we just go down a path for whatever reason, and then sort of get stuck in that groove.
Yes. Sure. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, it was lovely to connect with you. And
I
look forward to hearing from you and finding out how your week has been then.
Okay.
All right. If there's any issues, then send me an email. You've got my email address. Send me an email.
Yeah. Okay.
And just let me know. And actually, I'd like you just to send me an email in a couple of days' time, just to let me know how things are going, especially with mum and sleep, obviously. Okay.
Okay.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.